I lacked confidence. I think I was a bit insecure. I stuttered when I talked. I was very shy, very introverted, and I struggled with the idea of standing out and standing out as a star basketball player, standing out, raising my hand in class to answer a question that I know the answer to, standing out socially. Like I was an introvert and I was also shy so I don't know. I mean, it might have been mental health, but I mean, I think basketball sort of allowed me to build confidence and build belief. And it may have been later than when people, thought that I was that. I mean, I not until I was in college did I really get comfortable with that whole notion, but I was good at projecting what I wanted to project. And that was always cool, calm, and collected, which wasn't always the case.
What would you like young people to take away from that in terms of a message?
Well, I think, ultimately we all have something and we all struggle with something. And I think to be able to confront that and turn that around, I stuttered and now I talk for a living. And so, we can overcome our own individual, insecurities, our struggles, our flaws, and turn it around. I think I did that. I mean, basketball certainly helped, but we can evolve into what we want to evolve into.
And you evolved into one of the great players in the NBA. That next story, though, is really a journey of perseverance, of devastating injury after injury, ankle, staph infection, you name it. When you went back and you wrote this part of your career, was it painful? What was the takeaway revisiting all that?
It was tough. I realized that going through all those, trials and tribulations with my health, I suppressed a lot of it and I didn't deal with it in real time. And so the process of writing the book forced me to deal with it. And, it was therapeutic. It was liberating. It was frightening. It was not always easy, but it was a good exercise. And I didn't realize how much it was still affecting me until I went through this sort of exercise of writing the book. So a win-win from that standpoint, but we all have stuff and to go back and learn from it, live in it, try to find the lessons and the blessings along the way has been very, very helpful, to me, and 20 years later, mentally and emotionally processing.
And 20 years later, you've evolved into one of the true business first former athletes. I think you and Magic Johnson were two that kind of transformed how athletes became investors, business people, didn't just slap their names on products and do commercials. So you have a private equity firm, you have a real estate firm, you are head of U.S. men's basketball, a part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. Can you describe a little bit about your business philosophy?
Well, a lot of what I've tried to do in business, primarily with my real estate company and also with our private equity, a lot of the values and characteristics you take from sport, you apply in business and, working with others, collective responsibility, managing success, handling failure, working, discipline, all of these things that I learned along the way, playing for Coach K and playing 19 years in the NBA, I find myself falling back on. That's a foundation. And so much of it is people. And you can have great talent, you can have great skill, but if you don't know how to work with others, then you're not going to maximize results. And so applying in the locker room and taking those values and applying them in the boardroom, and that's what I've tried to do, and certainly have had success doing that. But it's all about people. And you learn that in sport. You learn about sacrifice and discipline and hard work, but learning how to coexist and work and thrive with other people is so important.
Now, college basketball players are being forced to learn those lessons quickly because of name, image, and likeness. Interesting that Duke has hired Rachel Baker, a former Nike and NBA executive, to handle players' journey in that regard. Has NIL helped the game or has it harmed it? It appears to be leaning towards pay for play rather than guys being allowed to take advantage of their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's what we all thought it would be, and that's a little bit concerning. I'm all for athletes profiting off of their name, image, and likeness, but when it evolves into pay for play, then that I think is a whole nother set of issues. I think that, along with the transfer portal, makes it very, very challenging right now, and it's a different environment and landscape. So I'm a little scared. If we don't have any guardrails, then it could very easily become pay for play. And it certainly feels like right now there are no guardrails. And it's kind of like the wild, wild west out there for intercollegiate athletics athletes.
Yeah, one NCAA high profile coach told me, make no mistake, it is pay for play right now. You were part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. What do you make of the escalating, you talk about wild, wild west, the rapidly rising values of these teams, the Denver Broncos going for $4.6 billion this week to Rob Walton, excuse me.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's, look, I mean, as a history major, I learned that sports, you go back to the ancient civilizations, the ancient Greeks, they would halt wars in the years of Olympics. And they understood the power of sport and how it motivates, it inspires, it speaks to people, it brings people together. And so that's only magnified in present day. And look, we bought the Hawks in 2015 for $700 million. And we were just recently valued just short of $2 billion. I think sports, as we've gone through COVID, it's been a distraction, a welcome distraction. It's been something that's been entertaining. I think we love it. We love it in real time. I think advertisers know that. The networks know that. So it's really a part of who we are as a society and our relationship with sport. And selfishly, I hope that number continues to go up. But I really do think so. I think that the amount of information, how sports now is global, particularly the NBA, there's still opportunities for increased revenue, and so it's exciting. It's exciting to be on the business side of sport and help our franchise build our infrastructure, develop an emotional connection with our audience and our fan base, and ultimately increase our valuation for investors and for our organization.
No finer example of the business in sport than two athletes this week being named officially billionaires by Forbes. Today, Tiger Woods, just a few days ago, LeBron James. What's your reaction to those two notching that historic milestone?
Well, I just think it speaks to the evolution of not just sports in terms of on the field or on the course or on the court, but also off the court. And I think to what I was saying earlier about how we perceive and how we applaud and celebrate athletes who are great and excel at what they do. Those two guys have leveraged their success to the fullest, and rightfully so. Tiger Woods, obviously, when he's in contention in a tournament, the ratings are through the roof. LeBron James has been the face of the NBA for over a decade, and so their value is reflected in their net worth. But it just shows you sort of, you think about Mean Joe Green, you think about Pele, you think about Michael Jordan, and the bar keeps raising. And I think we'll see more Tiger Woods and more LeBron James in the years to come, because sports, like I said, is such a part of who we are. And there's always going to be the up and coming great athlete who carries that mantle, much like those two have for a long time.
Tiger could have been closer to $2 billion had he taken the money from LIV Golf. He was offered a reported high 9 figures to go play for the Saudi-backed up-and-coming league. I know you are a big golfer, seen you out there golfing with Ray Allen, among others. Let's take you back to your prime of your NBA career, and someone throws 9 figures at you to go play for a league backed by, say, the Saudis. Human rights clearly central here. Would you take the money, life-changing generational money, or stay with that league that built who you are?
Well, I'm not great with hypotheticals, but, I don't know. I mean, I think, back during my really good years in Detroit, I was a lot younger than I am now, and maybe not quite as mature in some respects as I am now. But look, I mean, I think that kind of money, certainly you have to consider it. But you know what? I applaud Tiger, and for and not judging others who decided to go there, but I applaud him for for turning it down and wanting whatever that reason might be. And I'm not sure if Tiger has articulated that. But to be able to stand on some principle, whether it's the human rights violations, whether it's just he's traditional and he loves the PGA and he doesn't want to change it, but to not be influenced by money is something that I respect in Tiger Woods. And who knows what I would have thought at 24, 25 years of age. But I'd like to think that I would have made the right decision, and not entirely sure what that right decision is at this point in time. But but I have seen what happened, and Tiger, his career, his legacy, his net worth is not going to be impacted by that decision at all.
Grant Hill, the book is Game. It is out in bookstores this week. A terrific autobiography, teaches all of us a little something about perseverance and about determination. A terrific career. Congratulations to you on all of your success. Great to have you here on Yahoo. Thanks, Grant.
All right. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.